How are we all doing, guys? This is Kiz from Greenbots Gaming, and welcome to this FIFA 13 Career Mode series. Now, I know a lot of people are already up and running and quite a bit of the way into their career modes by now, but after a couple of technical issues we've been having, we are finally up and running, and we're finally going to be starting now with our own FIFA 13 Career Mode series. So as you can tell from the little setup here, we're going to be playing with Wigan Athletic, and as you can tell from the title up top, we're going to win the league. The quite plain and simple task ahead is to win the league with Wigan Athletic. A bit of background, for people who don't know, or hopefully you should know, that Wigan Athletic are the team in the Premier League that love the relegation zone so much that they always put themselves in and around it. However, they still manage to escape right towards the end of the season. I'm still of the firm belief they're actually the best team in the league, because they just want to be unfair to other teams. Really, they just don't want to. They don't want to make it seem like it's too easy for them, so they want to make it as difficult for themselves as they possibly can. And speaking of it being difficult, this is definitely going to be difficult. Playing on world class, playing with one of the worst teams in the Premier League on the game, it's definitely going to be a struggle. As you can see, setting up the team right here, starting off in the three at the back formation, which is something I sort of loathe on this game. I'm definitely not a fan of the three at the back formations, so that was definitely going to be out of the window straight away. And I'll introduce a formation I like myself, and I know a lot of others aren't too keen on it, but it's sort of a formation that I used to play, and I play quite a lot, and I'm very used to it by now. So I'm interested in playing the 4-5-1 attacking formation and seeing how that works. I play 4-5-1 a lot on Ultimate Team and other game modes, so I'm wanting to see how this is going to work in career mode as well. At the moment, I know for definite this probably won't be the last team, the last final setup that we're going to be taking into the first game of the season, or even pre-season for that matter, as some transfers are definitely going to be made, but I'm still going to put players in position anyway, just in case we can't make any signings. As you can see here, £6.5 million transfer budget. It's a sizable budget. It's quite interesting, there's a bit of money there, not as much as other teams, but I'm hoping that we can make some changes and we can make some decent transfers with that. So looking at our starting 11 now, we can tell that Emerson Boyce is probably the weak link, the lowest rated starter, only 70 rated. That might be a problem, so going into the market for a right back was definitely going to be the step I was going to be taking first. I wasn't really sure. I had a bit of an idea of what I was looking for, but I had no idea of who I was looking for. As you can see, I'm shortlisting loads of players here, just a couple to point out: Theodore Gebrselassie, Miguel Lopez, Gorkan Gonal, and Mariano from Bordeaux, and also this guy Laura, but for the life of me I have no idea what team he plays for. As I said, I've been looking for a right back. It's decent pace, not necessarily too fussed about the pace, but pace is also just nice to have as a bit on the side. But I was mainly looking for someone who's good and confident on the ball, good ball control, dribbling and passing, as that is something that is really, really important this year. Centre midfielder also, I'm happy with the centre midfielders we got at the moment in James McCarthy, MacArthur, and we've also got Sean Maloney. But apart from that, the backup isn't necessarily that good quality. I think we've got Ben Watson, we've got Jordi Gomez, David Jones, I believe, and a couple of others, but they don't really stick out to me as really quite good players. So I also went into the market for a centre midfielder, try and find a new starter, because then we could also try and introduce a different slant, I guess, a different style into the team. So we were looking for a new centre midfielder, something a bit more attacking, maybe to play alongside Maloney at centre attacking midfield, so I could then push McCarthy back to centre midfield and use MacArthur as my substitute centre midfielder. We placed a couple of bids here, especially on Zlatko Januzovic. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong on the pronunciation of the name there, and also Mohamed Fella from Vala Negra. Them two both looked like very, very good centre attacking midfielders. Good stats in the positions I was looking for, but I just couldn't really make a decision yet. So I placed bids on those just as a bit of a backup, just in case one deal possibly fell through. We're on the shortlist here, looking at all the right backs I've shortlisted and maybe placed bids for. I was just looking through, comparing stats up, and I couldn't really decide. But eventually, I made made the decision to go with Mariano. He's 26-year-old defender, Brazilian right back from Bordeaux. I think he's only recently just signed for him, so we were going to have to pay a bit over the odds for him, no doubt. I didn't really like the look of the other right backs, however I did still place some backup bids on Kyle Norton and I think Gorkan Gonal as well, just in case that bid for Mariano did fall through. But you know, I was more wanting to get Mariano because I believed his stats were slightly better than the others. So this is another bid another inquiry we placed, I should say, for Peter Truszkowski, a German centre midfielder from Seville in the BBVA. He looked like an absolute talent. You know, he had great skill stats, or a lot, you know, a sea of green, I guess you could say, and the 4-star skills and 5-star weak foot. So he was probably going to be my front runner in the centre midfielder I was looking to buy, because it seemed as if Werder Bremen wanted a ridiculous amount for Zunizovic. Although he may have been the slightly better player, I just couldn't afford what they wanted. So we were definitely going to be trying to get Truszkowski, as Seville only wanted around £3 million, I believe. Seville did accept the offer I placed for him. I think I placed around £3 million plus David Jones, as I said. I didn't really think much of him, so maybe trying to get rid of him would have been a good move. Gorkan Gonal also been accepted, placed a contract on him just in case, but Mariano eventually, Bordeaux did accept the deal and Mariano has been given a contract. Hopefully he'll accept that and hopefully we can get him into the team. Tottenham also accepted my bid for Kyle Norton. However, as I said, the Mariano deal was effectively done. All he needed to was wait on the contract. But here is our first signing that we have made. It is that Peter Truszkowski from Seville, German centre midfielder, and as you'll probably see in a minute, that sea of green stats that he has given to the team is going to be a great addition in the attacking midfield role alongside Sean Maloney. You know, as you can see there, them skill stats are very good. Also the 4-star skills and the 5-star weak foot almost speak for himself at £3 million. I thought that was a great deal. So now we move on to our next possible signing at right back, and I was just looking through the stats of all the 3 players that I had shortlisted and made bids for, because I was just checking. They are 3 exceptionally good players. However, one player definitely stood out for me, and that was Mariano. He just looked head and shoulders above the rest and above the competition, and especially for the price tag I was potentially paying, it was going to be an excellent deal for us. He does accept our contract, we do accept the deal, and now Mariano is officially a Wigan Athletic player. We can put him into the starting 11, we can put him at right back, and now our defence is suddenly looking a lot stronger, a lot more confident. You know, I'm a lot happier with that defence now we have got Mariano. Nice pace, nice control, nice defending, everything I was sort of looking for. A final potential signing I was looking to make was a backup striker. I know we have a Runa Kone up front and he is an absolutely exceptional player. I wasn't looking to replace him at all. I was just looking for someone, a bench player, bit of squad rotation, something like that, as we do only really have Franco Di Santo in reserve and he isn't one of the best players, so I was just looking for someone young, someone I could bring on occasionally, especially playing in the lower games like the Capital One Cup and FA Cup games and games like that. There was a lot of players that I was looking through, and I only placed a couple of bids for this one because there was only 2 players that stood out for me. One was Marcelo Jr., I believe his name was, but also there was this guy here, Edgar Sarli from AS Monaco. Exceptionally good for such a cheap price, under £1 million. AS Monaco do accept our bid for him, so it was just about placing the contract. I think I made a bit of an error here by putting his squad status as just a squad rotation player. He obviously wasn't going to be having that because he was such a crucial player at his current team already. We also had a bid there from Seville, I believe, for Ali Al-Habsi, and I had a look at the market, but there were no goalkeepers for under the price they were offering me that were actually any better than Al-Habsi, so I wasn't going to be accepting that. As I said, the first contract offer for Edgar Sarli probably wasn't good enough because I put the wrong squad status. However, the second contract was a lot better for him, so we've now got Edgar Sarli into the team. We have him for just under £1 million, and he does look like an exceptional little player. So we finally have the team set up and looking a lot better than it did before, with a couple of new signings: Mariano, Peter Troszczowski and Ed Gasali. So that is it for this episode, guys. We have made a couple of signings. We've got the game set up. The next couple of episodes we're going to be covering pre-season and the first couple of games of the Premier League season. I really hope you've enjoyed this, and I really hope you stick around. A like would be really, really appreciated, and we shall catch you all next time. Cheers.